We are now doing chapter 17, Bhagavad Gita, Shraddha, Triya, Vibhaga, Yoga. Shraddha is faith, trust, confidence in higher power. In Sanskrit, Shraddha is a combination of conviction, faith, desire, respect, reverence. And there is no equivalent word in English for Shraddha. People say faith, but faith alone is not enough. You have to have that respect, you have to have that reverence, everything complete surrendering attitude. So in Sanatana Dharma, was never a religion before. It is applicable to the entire humanity. It is not a dogmatic, rigid, but that one must abide in these rules. But it says is righteousness, which is dharma, and that should be followed by everyone. Not be a source of suffering to others in any way. That's the idea, righteousness. Chapter 17, Shraddha is explained in three forms, three different aspects. In chapter 16, verse 24, Krishna ended by saying that the scriptures guide you to what should be done and what should not be done. Therefore, the scriptures are the prime source for you to know how to lead a life. Understand this and do your duty. He concluded with that. Those who follow dharmic life or righteousness values prescribed in scriptures would attain moksha. And those who do not will be born again and again. Scriptures are the tools, instructional manual for effective living. One should completely trust it, follow it with conviction, perform all actions as prescribed in those scriptures. Now Arjuna has a doubt in chapter 17, verse 1. One set of people who follow scriptures and live their life as stated in the scriptures, these are divine qualities. Okay, we have seen that divine quality. The second set of people who do not trust, who do not believe and have no knowledge of scriptures, there are, even if they knew something, they don't care much to follow, and they are with demonic qualities, could be categorized as demons. Now, Arjuna's question is the third group of people who have no knowledge of scriptures, who have never learnt them. So they do not know the procedures of do's and don'ts, not aware of what is prescribed, but has an intense trust, faith and confidence, conviction on that one supreme something beyond all. They are honest to themselves, doesn't harm other beings. What happens to those individuals? Has faith but no knowledge of scriptures. Many are in this situation generally because they do prayer, meditation, rituals, yoga, everything with devotion, but they don't know how the scriptures describe. It's like a toddler, when you give a food to a toddler, 2 years old, the toddler will eat as the child pleases. Maybe, spill everywhere, or eat with left hand, or bend down and lick, do anything, or take the plate and swallow it, the food from the plate. They will behave as is. The child doesn't know what to do and what not to do. Parents guide them, right? Similarly, people who do not know how to live will follow their innate nature, live as they please without guidance. That is called Swabhavam. That is innate nature of beings referred as this. This Swabhavam is referred also with the three types. From that innate nature comes the Shraddha. Shraddha is actually given in three types. One who has a knowledge and trust is divine. One who has no trust in the scriptures is demonic. One who has trust but no knowledge is the one, knowledge of scriptures is the one that we are going to talk about. So he's saying there are three types of Shraddha. Let's use the word faith or conviction. Three types of Shraddha. The nature of an individual is based on karma, consequences of our actions in previous births. That is the basis of nature. We call it impressions, vasanas, fragrance. All our thoughts, inclinations, and performances are based on our natural tendencies, natural behavior, thought, word, and deed. When we say that, we are all product of our experiences. We learn from experience and experience again based on those experiences, what we have learned from those experiences, and continue with a different experience. Those experiences lead one in either in good direction or in other direction based on their own experiences. Each human is either progressing or regressing based on individual life experiences. We cannot compare any two. In chapter 14, Krishna had mentioned three gunas, modes of material nature, Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. Sattvic is purity and harmony, calm. Rajasic is quality of energy, activities, and changes. Tamas is quality of darkness, ignorance, and illusion. So Sattvic is being kind, compassionate, unselfish, caring, respecting, loving, calm, all those things. So when the Shraddha is Sattvic, he has divine qualities, he is divine category. When Shraddha is in Tamoguna or Rajoguna or Tamoguna, he is demonic. So one who is Sattvic, even if he is not following or living one's life as per scriptures, Krishna says he is still divine. The attitude counts. The respect, the faith, the reverence to that one supreme is more important than the methodologies provided in the scriptures. Attitude takes you to altitude, they say. Some of the characters in scriptures we have seen that, like Ravana or Hiranyakashyap, who is Prahalada's father, in Ramayana and Mahabharata, they have studied scriptures. All the scriptures they have studied, and they have elaborately performed all penance, but with an intention to get more power than anyone else so that they could kill others. That was the intention. These are cheap faith, Rajasa and Tamasic conviction, self-destructive convictions. So Swaroopam, that is a divine essence, won't change at all. But Swabhavam, the nature, can change based on one's own effort. Say, for example, fire is hot. It won't change, but it can come and go. Same thing with our behaviors, our nature. It can come and go. You can see, look back, some people may be very angry when they were young, then they subdue, they become calm and quiet afterwards. So those natural behaviors, natural things will change, but the divinity does not change. Similarly, he says, even bad habits can change by individual efforts. So therefore, humans need to focus on Sattvic Shraddha, Sattvic faith. How can we identify what type of faith or conviction do I have? This can be identified only by the expressions. You cannot find out who is in which one, only by the expression. First one is, whom do we worship or pray to? What methodology do we use to pray? What is the motive to pray? Why do we pray? That is deity, which deity we pray to, what is the process, method that we follow to pray, and what is the intention to pray. If it's a businessman, he will have a Lakshmi's picture in his office so that all the money, golden coins are falling down, right? If it is a school, they will have Saraswati. For health, we go to Vaidishwaran Kovil, or for Ganesha, for Nirvigna. So we need everything. We need all. So these are deities. When we pray to these deities, this is Sattvic faith or conviction. Those who worship supernatural beings, like, like demons, devils, dragons, demigods, that is Rajo faith, Rajoguna. Those who worship dead bodies, ghosts, if you have seen that, you can go on Google Agori, Agori. I was in Varanasi and I saw a lot of people. They are they worship dead bodies. They worship dead bodies and ghosts. There is a place called Thina Ram's Heritage in Varanasi. This person lived in 18th century, is one of the Agori, and they worship Shiva and Kali as Rudra Rupa. You can see Kali in Rudra Rupa also. So as we study, and so this is important to know how we worship, people worship. Based on impressions, innate personality, people worship and pray to this also. So now, how do we pray? People with Sattvic Shraddha are calm and pray in a quiet manner. The Rajasic faith have loud songs, dance, processions on the street, bombastic manner. Tamasic faith is very ferocious. They poke needle on their tongue, walk on fire. That's all Tamasic. Krishna does not approve all these worships. These are Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Krishna says they not only hurt themselves, but they hurt me, who is in those bodies also. Now, Sankalpa, why do we pray? I need a long life, I need a healthy life, I pray for the betterment of the world, I should always think good thoughts. All these things are Sattvic faith. Some pray so others can fail. Only I need to win. These are Rajasic, selfishness. What is in it for me? I don't care about other people. That is Rajasic. Others pray for the destruction of others with hatred, animosity, and vengeance. He should die. He should go through sufferings. They pray for that. As far as Krishna is concerned, these are sinful. Therefore, which God, which deity we worship, we pray to, how we pray, and why we pray defines one's life. It is vital to be Sattvic faith because you become what you think about. In Mundaka Upanishad, it says, Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. One who knows Brahma attains the ultimate. When we focus more on rituals, the Shraddha will go down. But therefore, by eliminating this Rajasic and Tamasic faith, develop the Sattvic Shraddha. That's what Krishna says. To develop that, Krishna has taken 4 areas to focus on. First one is food intake. Second is your prayer and worship. Third one is tapas, which is spiritual practice. Dhanam is charity. So in verse 7, he says, which food makes your mind sattvic? Which type of food makes your, verse 8, 7, 8, and 9. Which type of food makes your mind rajasic? Which makes your mind tamasic? The food that expands, heightens your knowledge, increases your mental and physical strength, tasty and pleasurable as you eat are sattvic foods. That is, we have read this in chapter 15 by Swanara in the fire deity in our stomach. What we offer to that deity is important. That is also in chapter 15, verse 14. That which expands life, energy to the gross body, that which gives strength to the mind, that which gives both physical and mental strength, that which is pleasurable to eat, that which gives satisfaction as you eat, and he further elaborates that which is tastier, that which is nutritious, that which gives strength to muscles and bones. Now we talk about carbohydrates and proteins and all. So have a heavy lunch. It's also suggested by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Have a heavy lunch and a light dinner. So now verse number 9, he says, bitter, that was all sattvic. Now verse 9 is bitter, sour, salty, hot, dry, spicy. These are good, but they should be eaten in moderation. These are rajasic and will reduce lifespan. These increase sadness, diseases, and sorrow. We don't get diseases because we eat less or we starve, but because of overeating. The food that needs to be nutritious and promote health and long life is often used as a tool to promote diseases by overeating. Food discipline is very important. Verse 10, Tamasic food. Half-cooked food without much moisture, dry. That which is tastier but not nutritious, like junk food we call chips and French fries and oil fry. Number 3 is puti. Puti means foul smell. I cooked it yesterday. It is slightly smelling, but I don't want to throw it out. I better eat it. That attitude. If it is smelling foul smell, don't eat it. Dump it. Anything that's one night's old. Nowadays we eat that, we keep it in the fridge and eat. My mother used to say, whatever we cook, we have to eat it within 3 to 4 hours. Those days, because she would cook every morning and every night. Now it is not really practical. We can probably excuse ourselves for this one thing, maybe, because we have fridge. Leftover from others' plate, that is also, we are not supposed to. These are tamasic food. This will not allow us to be calm and meditate. They will make us drowsy and sleepy. Rajasic food will always make us run, be in constant activity until one is physically exhausted and mentally fatigued. Sattvic food will calm both the body and mind. And they say, eat when you're hungry and eat only half your stomach. Dense food should be half your stomach. And quarter should be water. And another quarter should be left for the food digestion and gas coming out. Don't eat completely. So when the gas comes, there's no place for it. It has to come out, some form or the other. So we want to eat half dense, quarter water, and quarter empty. That's why in India, when we eat, immediately we have a plate and a water, always. That is number 10. Now 11 to 13 is prayer. Yajna. Yajna means prayer. So worship. In short, karma yoga is the prayer. Offering whatever we do is an offering to Lord, and whatever we get is accepting it. Arpana buddhi, prasada buddhi. Without expecting anything in return. You will get something, but accept it as is. What needs to be done must be done without expecting anything in return. That is my duty, is Sattvic prayer. If you are unable to do, or at the stage of vanaprastha, like me, I am done with all my responsibilities, I am living with my children, what do? You do manasa puja. You are not able to sit and pray somewhere, you are not healthy to sit down and pray, or whatever may be the reason, you are in a situation where you are unable to sit and pray, do manasa puja. So that is yajna. Now, verse number 12, some focus on the outcome of any type of worship. I do this so I can get this. That's all Rajasic worship. Prayer is not a business transaction. I give you this, you give me that. Okay. Prayer is something that expresses our gratitude for what we have, thankfulness. That is what prayer is. Meditation is what God talks to you. That is the difference. Prayer is always gratefulness. Some do elaborate prayers so others can see, talk high of this person, praise this person, glorify this person. These are Rajasic worship. These are for temporary name and fame and egoistic. One who does not follow the procedures stated in the scriptures are Tamasic. Every prayer, a form of worship, has specific methodologies to be followed, mentioned in Karma Kanda. After the prayer, whatever is offered to deity must be shared with others. If it is possible, maybe a driver or some domestic help, whoever it is, just share it. It doesn't have to be an elaborate food that we cook. It could be just a fruit that we offer. Give one banana to somebody. Always share with others. Not chanting the required mantras completely. Haphazard way of saying it. Oh, I don't have much time for this. This is going to take an hour. Maybe we can finish it in 15 minutes. That is halfway doing. Not fully committed, not dedicated in performance. Not respecting the priest, whoever comes and performs the priest. So we often generally we offer some outfit or dhoti or shawl or scarf or something or even currency, but rather making it cheaper. I remember when my father was performing Amavasya Tarpana, those days in 60s, he would do it early in the morning when he wakes up and then keep everything in a plate, including the dakshina, and go to work. He had to go to work. Then the priest will come late. He had to catch two buses and come, and then he will be late. And at that time, I used to think he didn't do anything. Why is Appa giving all this, Dad? So, but you do it, and my mom would offer him coffee and give this plate of dakshina. So you respect the priest by giving what is needs to be done. Do the right thing at all times. So if not, that is a cheap offer. Some will give same thing that we gave 10 years ago. My father used to give 100 rupees, so I will also give 100 rupees. But with the inflation, 100 rupees, he can't buy a coffee, okay? Or he can only buy a coffee. So these are cheap form of worship. These are tamasic worship. Now, verse 14 to 19 is tapas, penance, practice of austerities. Penance is also described in three types. One is with physical body, second one is with words, third one is mind. We call it manasa vachika kayika. So respecting sages, saints, jnanis, deities, gurus, and elders at the physical level, non-verbal body language, expressing humility, need to maintain that is number one. Need to maintain the environment, body clean at physical level. Walk the talk, do what you say. Do not hurt any being physically. Like nowadays we use ant spray, we use pesticides, we use cage to have a parrot at home. We are restricting that bird. So those things we have to think about it. We are physically hurting. These are penance. What to do and what not to do at the body physical level. Now we are going to speech. Whatever we say should not hurt others. Oftentimes people use words to offend others, sarcastic comments, snapping, abusing words, insulting, criticizing, belittling. These must be avoided. Anytime we open our mouth and say something, to speak towards anyone, the words has to be encouraging, supportive, appreciative, positive, or else just be silent. You don't need to voice anything. He further elaborates, what we speak must be truth. This is very important. He says, Satyam Priyam Hidam. What we speak must be always truth. Our speech has to be kind. Those words should bring happiness in others. That is Priyam. Whatever we say has to be beneficial to others. That is Hidam. Satyam Priyam Hidam. The beneficial points, points or suggestions must be conveyed. Whatever we want to convey to others, with kind word has to be with kind words. Sometimes we tend to use crude, rude words, but and then we say whatever I'm saying is all for your good. It's often possible with parents, when we say something to children, we use rough words, and then we say whatever I say is all for your good. But they have to accept how we say it. So sometimes what we say, they may not like what we say, but must be truth and beneficial. Even if it is not, they are not happy. Must be truth and beneficial. Say like doctor's words about a patient. Doctor says, I need to amputate your toe. You need to have a pacemaker. I'm going to put this person in ventilator. It's not going to be hidden for us. not making us happy, but it is a truth and it is beneficial. So that verse 16 is manasa tapas, mental austerity. Maintaining the mental calmness without anxiety, agitation, fear of unpleasant situation. All the what ifs comes to us at all times. What happens? What could happen? So maintaining the mental calmness, understanding others' situation and not offended by their words or actions as a receiver. Gentleness. Say, for example, you are visiting someone and that person without an appointment, you just say, I'm in the city, so I thought I'll come and see you. And you are busy at home or on the phone and not paying attention to that person, whatever that person is speaking, talking about. And when that person could think, or if I am visiting your house and you are busy, you are acting, you are looking at the watch, or you are doing something busy, and you are not focusing on what I'm saying. You are not paying undivided attention to what I'm saying. At that time, I need to understand the situation and step back. This could happen even with family members. Children are busy. They are always busy. Their family members, something or the other is going on, and we need to be very aware of their thinking, their mode of, and then talk. So, or sometimes they see the watch, their time. Then sometimes what we do is we tend to say that person doesn't want to talk to me. That person wants me to go away. This is all our mind. So we want to understand. My mother used to tell me, Manasarinji Peshano. That means you have to always think about others' mind, see how they will respond, how they respond, and then you act, you speak. Number 3 is silence, mauna. That verse 16. This is one of the Manasa Puja. This is all Manasa Puja. It's not being silent with words. I'm not going to talk, but silence in the mind. The inner chatterbox is always talking to somebody in the mind. So mental silence is suggested here. Do not inject unwanted stuff in the mind. Next one is Bhava Samsuddhihi. That is, maintain good thoughts at all time. Whenever we get any negative thought in our mind, it is normal during the day, throughout the days. Anything, simple things. Always say one thing, Sarve Jano Sukhino Bhavantu. Replace that thought. Immediately that thought, negative thought will go out. Sarve Jano Sukhino Bhavantu. What happens is you see that you say this 10 times a day at some point. Then it comes down to 8 times, then 5 times. Now you know you are progressing. So this is just a measuring scale. So anger, jealousy, vengeance, cheating, all this needs to be removed. Scriptures refer this as 6 enemies. In Sanskrit, this is kama, krodha, moha, lobha, madamascharya, lust, anger, greed, attachment, pride, and jealousy. Next one is single-pointed focus alone is not enough. Pure mind is ultimately is very vital. It's required. See, even a robber, a bad person who has got bad intention, they all have focus, single-pointed focus, but for a negative intention. So pure mind is absolutely vital. It is easier to follow this with our body, little hard with our words, and much challenging with our mind. So self-reflection, self-assessment is required to see where one is and to move forward in this inner journey. Verse 17, any type of spiritual practices you do, have the faith that you will get the benefits without any anxiety. But you may not get the benefit that you are expecting. Do it without expecting. There will be an outcome. This is Sattvic penance. Accept that I need liberation from this samsara here and now. Try not to expect anything else. This thought, this desire will also automatically fall like a pole vault. This is a desire. Of course, as much as we don't want any desire, but this is important. This is the last one. This is the pole. You have this desire. I need this liberation, and hold that pole. When you jump, it will automatically fall down. So, verse 18. Don't do any penance spiritual practice with a big bang advertisement or for public announcement. Such individuals expecting others to praise, recognize, appreciate, honor and fame. These types of spiritual practice are not legitimate and they are not sincere. They are for worldly desires of name and fame and will give them those but will not last long. Without the spiritual benefit, they will not last long. Number 19, penance. Spiritual austerity, tapas in Sanskrit. These are self-destructive practices. These are performed to destroy others, often involved with fears, extreme, intense cruelty to one's own body. These individuals are full of ignorance. Spiritual practices needs to be performed in a calm manner with gratitude, that is Sattvic. When done for name and fame, it is Rajasic. When performed to ruin others, it is Tamasic. Now he is going to verse 20, which is Dhanam, charity. We covered food, prayer, spiritual practices, now charity. When we do charity, Krishna says 3 points must be considered. Must be done without expecting in return, number 1. The 3 points to be considered is the place, time, and the right person. Give at the right place, at the right time, to the right candidate. Meaning not getting, say, I'm coming from Boston, so if somebody is in Arizona or California, I'm getting a thick jacket. Or India. They don't need it. The space is different, right? They don't have the same weather, climate. Help them when needed. Time is very critical. Or does this person really need this? Is this right candidate? But when we do this, that is Sattvic. Do charity without expecting. When you do with an expectation, that is Rajasic. Third, there are the people I have also seen, they give charity not wholeheartedly. But I may get some punya. I may get some good things. So let me just give. Not very happy to share from within. Sometimes they just toss it, take it. That is not charity. That is just discarding, throwing, insulting the person. As it is that person, when he comes and asks for something, is feeling that I am in this position to beg. In a position to ask for help. So we don't want to encourage that kind of thought. We want to respect that person and say, okay, I will give you. These are all tamasic thoughts. As it is, the person thinking like that, right? So we don't want to degrade that person. I am in a position to ask, he will think. So I remember one incident. My daughter and I, we went, that was about 10 years ago. She was young. And we had a free car wash by school children, high school children do that often here. They do, and then we give some donation. They have donations, they collect it. And then the parents, because they don't want the children to be alone in the parking lot, so they have parents bake cookies and bread, and then they try to sell it. So she went and got some bread from bread or biscuit or something for some X amount, $10 or $20. And then when we came home, we both came home after the car wash. She said, Mom, you go up to home. I will give this bread. There is a homeless person sitting there. Then I said, you just spent $20 and you're going to give to the homeless. That's okay. Go ahead and do it. And then after 10, 15 minutes, she came and she was in tears. I said, what happened? She said, I made that person feel that he is begging. I should have sat on the platform with him and ate that bread, one piece with him. but I just gave and came back. I feel bad that I am in a position to give and he had to ask me. Think about it. A young person thinking, feeling that I need to sit in the sidewalk with that person and eat together. I was thrilled. I said, God is guiding that person. We don't often think about these things, but when we observe others doing it, it is really awe-inspiring. So that's why when we give something, we want to make sure that we give to the right candidate, the right time, and at the right place. That is, now we are going to 23 to 28. So that was Saturday. So 23 to 28 is Om Tat Sat. We all have heard it. When we perform spiritual practices, worship, or do any charity, inadvertently we may come across some errors. We might have done something wrong that we didn't know about. Okay? Anything. So, to avoid such mishaps, Om Tat Sat is chanted, uttered. It is good to start with any activity, all activities, early in the morning also, daily, with these three words, Om Tat Sat, and end also at the end if possible. Ending is important. All three refers to Nirguna Brahman. So we do not feel guilty of any wrongdoing. We can use in our Karma Yoga as well and start with Om. That's why we always start with Om. Om Tat points to divine Nirguna Brahman. In this verse, Krishna is giving 5 meanings to the word Sat. Sat is existence, isness. Anything that exists is existence. You cannot say Brahman exists. Brahman is. Because any is can become was. Anything that can become, change, modify, become was is not Sat. Sat is ever existent. Okay, the isness. Sat means auspicious. Sat also means supreme performance, divine action. That is number 3. Number 4 is that it is the foundation, basis, substratum for all worship, spiritual practices. That is Sat. Whatever is performed as an offering to Lord is Sat. Therefore, anything that is performed without trust, conviction, there is no benefit to it. Without Shraddha. Devotion is required. No point in just doing a haphazard work because I'm doing it for publicity. So with that, chapter 17 ends. I'm going to share the screen with you. So we'll see. Okay. Shraddha Triya Vibhaga Yoga. So in chapter 16, he ended with saying that the pramanam, this is the tool to know how to, for self-realization. Follow this path for right living. So it does not matter even if one does not live according to Shastra, but Shraddha should be there. In the US and other places, it is difficult to sit and do the prayer to get flowers every day. And it's very difficult because life is very different here. So you're not able to do it. But if you believe whatever I did, when I'm a diabetic patient, what I would do is when I make coffee in the morning, I will offer that coffee to God. So I'll just say, okay, this is a coffee, I'm offering it to you. Start with that. That's okay. It doesn't have to be big puja and with all the things that you cook. Start with that. The Shraddha should be there. I am able to swallow this because of that presence in this body. I'm able to hold this because of that presence in this body. So that Shraddha should be there. So the Shraddha is Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. If you know that there are many Nayanars and Alvars in India those days, and they were completely self-realized. They were living their life in this form. One example is Kannappa Nayanar, if you have heard. He was a hunter-gatherer. He would hunt the meat and come and offer it to Shivalinga in a temple every day. But he was not following scriptures because he didn't know what the scriptures say, right? But he did that. And then the priest would come in the daytime. He would do that at night. During the day, he would hunt and then he would offer it. And at night, and then the priest would have to come and clean up all the mess there, all the meat and everything. And he was saying, who does this? Shiva, Shiva, let me know who does all these things. And at night, he was told to come at night. And he was behind a tree and watching. Kannappa Nayanar comes at night and he offers this. At that time, one of the left eye was bleeding. So Kannappa Nayanar took out one of his eye and put it there. Then the next eye started bleeding. So what he did was he put his right foot toe on that spot and tried to dig his next eye. So he could play, he knows where to put it. Otherwise he can't see. At that time Shiva appeared in front of him and he called him Kannappa. Kannappa, you are my devotee. So this priest saw that and said, wow, this is the Shraddha that he has. It's not what you offer, it's how that bhavana, that attitude, that's what it is. So there are stories in Puranas about all these people. Kalleri Nayanar, there was one who would just throw rocks on the Shivalinga because he didn't find any flowers wherever he was. And he is referred as Kalleri Nayanar. And he was also realized. Then Abhaya, we all have heard of this. One time she was sitting with her legs. She is an old woman sitting with her legs towards a Shivalinga or a temple. And one person says, don't put your feet like that. You are pointing to a temple. She said, tell me where there is no God. I will put in that direction. She knew that divine is everywhere, all pervasive. So it's a mental attitude how we do it. That this is all Sattvika. Rajasic and Tamasic is Ravana and Hiranyagarbha that we talked about. They always want their name, fame, and hurt others. So Shraddha is the faith, belief, trust, devotion, reverence, all combined. Now, how are three gunas expressed? How to identify the gunas in beings? First one is which devata you pray to, which methodology you follow, and what is the intention? Why do you pray? This is Sattvic, this is Rajasic, this is Tamasic. This is Agori. This is Sattvic, quiet prayer at home. This is Rajasic. This is Tamasic. Skull worship, walking on the flame and piercing the tongue. Now, why do we worship? Intention. I need a long life. I need good health. Everyone should be happy. I should always think of positive things. That is Sattvic. Always thinking Sarve Jano Sukhino Bhavantu is Sattvic. Always. Rajasic is others should suffer. Others should not succeed. Others should not win. Only I should be successful. I should be respected in the crowd. That is Rajasic. Selfishness. Tamasic, he should be destroyed, he should be killed, he should be made to zero. That is Tamasic prayer. The food worship, which is Yam, Tapas, Dhanam. This is what kind of food, Sattvic food, worship, tapas, and then Dhanam. Dhanam should always be given with two hands, not with one hand. The receiver can take it with one hand, but when the giver should always use both hands to give. This is eating. Eating itself, we have seen in chapter 17, Agnihotra. Vishwanaran is the deity in the stomach. You give uh, all the sattvic food. This is Rajasic with spicy, different bitter, all the different tastes. So that is Rajasic, and this is all junk food. That is Tamasic. This is Manasa Puja, Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. We have gone through that. So verse 14 to 19 is 14 to 16 talks about Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic tapas in thought, word, and deed. Every thinking should be positive, always towards others. When thoughts comes out as words comes out as actions. When we think good about a person on the street, then we ask for help. Would you like me to help you? An old person is walking. The other day when I was walking, an old lady with 2 bags was walking. So I said, wow, maybe I should try to help. I asked her, would you like me to help you? Can I carry it? She said, no. Do you need anything? She said, I don't know where my house is, but I'll figure it out. Then she walked this way for 5 buildings, came back, walked this way 5 buildings. Then I was standing and watching her. She said, no, I can figure it out. Now I know how to go. I took a different route. She went. So it's only when you think that you want to help, the words will come and the actions will come. But I just left her because I didn't want to impose myself. So it's always important to think positive. Then verse 17 to 19 is how your intense reverence, that is your Shraddha. How much? Why do you pray? Because I want this. I want to self-realize. That's what it is. Or am I doing it for self-glorification? Depends on what is the intention. Now this is dana. So space, time, and qualified individual. Giving reluctantly with a hope to get something in return is Rajasic. Charity which is given at a wrong place and wrong time to an unworthy person without showing respect. That is Tamasic. Om Tat Sat. Sat has 5 definitions: the eastness, the divine act, divinity, the glorious act, and that which is the foundation of dana. Anything that is done for the Brahman is Sat. So this is declared as a symbolic representation of the supreme absolute truth from the beginning of creation. From them came the priests, scriptures, and sacrifices. Om Tat Sat. So I'll end here and then. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.